Well, joining us now to discuss this story further, I want to welcome our two guests. Kristján Loftsson, who's joining us from Reykjavik in Iceland, and also welcome to Mark Simmonds, who's on the Isle of Wight. Now, Kristján, I just want to start with you. You're the owner of a commercial whaling group. We've just heard Iceland described as a rogue whaling state. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I've heard it so many times. I just laugh at it. We whale here in Iceland according to we are members of the Whaling Commission. Iceland rejoined it with a reservation for this so-called moratorium, which is not really voted in as a moratorium. It's voted in as a zero quota. And as the Whaling Commission doesn't want to do anything with management, then the Icelandic government sets a quota based on scientific calculations done by the International Whaling Commission.
Well, Mark, I just want to bring you in here. Obviously, you're a senior marine scientist for the Humane Society. So there have been a lot of groups who actually welcomed Japan's decision to pull out, saying it'll be easier to keep track of what they're up to. What do you think?
Well, first of all, I'd like to, rather surprisingly, perhaps agree with Mr. Loftsson that obviously Iceland and Norway are in a different position to Japan. If Japan goes outside of the IWC, which is what it's saying it's going to do, then that's quite a significantly different position to countries that remain within. So we're in a very odd place in history because Japan has announced two things. One is that it's going to leave the Southern Ocean, so we can celebrate that because they've been whaling in the Southern Ocean for many years, almost without pause ever since the end of World War II. And this is a very special area. This is a pristine area that wants to be protected, has many layers of protection to it, so that's a good thing. But at the same time, they're saying that they're going to leave the Whaling Commission, they're going to continue whaling in the North Pacific. And that's of concern, not just because of the immediate effect on the whales in the area, but also potentially whether or not countries will follow their lead and do the same thing and step outside of the relevant international law.
Certainly a complicated situation. Kristján, just going back to yourself, in terms of Japan standing up, if you like, for its desire to go back into commercial whaling. I mean, there are a lot of critics of commercial whaling today. What is your defense of whaling?
No, in Iceland, we look at whaling like fisheries. If you have a sustainable stock and healthy stock and you can whale sustainably, we whale. If it is an endangered stock, we don't whale. That's as easy as it is. And that's what other countries should do. You quoted the UK minister going out and condemning Japan for leaving the Whaling Commission. You should look at the data from the UK. They have caught in the past over 63,000 blue whales and over 105,000 fin whales. And now they have a guilty conscience, so therefore they are against whaling.
Well, Mark, just to bring you back in here, I'm hearing that argument quite a lot, that, fishing and going after whales is the same as fishing. I mean, is it the same?
Well, no, obviously it isn't the same. These are very different animals, and any attempt at the sustainable use of whales is up against a lot of real problems. These are long-lived animals that live in families, communities, cultures, depends on the species, depends at where you look, and it is not the same thing as fishing. It's not so straightforward. Now, the Whaling Commission has never managed to agree a management regime for whaling, and that's very, very important. So any countries at the moment that are whaling, whether they're inside or outside the Whaling Commission, don't have that management regime to fall back on, and that's a problem for us.